WOON, AM and FM.
WOON, Woonsocket.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
And a good morning to you. It is Coffee and Time here on ON Radio on this Wednesday morning. It's the first day of October. How about that?
I love it. Oh, I
2025.
love it.
We got one boo, we got one yay.
Oh
and I'm right on the fence, so
this is
I'm
first,
okay with it.
Last night was the first night that I slept comfortably in weeks because it was in like 47, 48.
Yes, that's
no,
what we
and
are
I
about
leave
now.
my windows cracked. And it just the fresh air, it just smelled like fall. It just made me happy.
I don't know if you have window air conditioners, but are the window air conditioners out?
Yeah.
They're not here, but we will eventually.
You're going to leave that in for me for a little bit longer.
Well,
because
okay.
there's no certainty that.
You never know. You never know. All right. I'm Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us. We just heard from Melissa Smith. Hi, Melissa.
Good morning.
And Tim Draper's here as well. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Joe.
All righty. And it's time for our first message, Melissa, from the St. Antoine communities.
Sure. So for those of you that don't know a lot about us and the services we offer on our property, I'm realizing my voice is scratching me because my window was open last night.
Drink more tea.
I will. So on our property, we offer an expansive list of services from assisted living to short and long-term skilled care, as well as 2 levels of memory care. We have a brand new memory care assisted living unit called Primrose Lane, and then we have the long-term care unit as well, our special care unit, as well as an amazing state-of-the-art rehab facility, and then, of course, hospice support. So if you're interested in learning more about the services we offer on our property or how we can help you out or just advanced planning process, feel free to reach out to me at 401-767-3500 or email me at msmith@santantoine.net.
How's Primrose Lane going?
Amazing.
Yeah? Is it full?
So we hit our 1-year mark in July, and we've been full since January, and that's not because of the demand. We strategically, when we opened it, we wanted to gradually ease into it, right? So we were going from an 8-person memory care unit at the villa and growing to 24 units.
Okay.
So we opened up one wing of 12, stabilized staffing, like the flow, all the things, and then we opened up the other side. And the other reason we did that is because we also wanted to introduce a new concept of doing kind of like a universal care worker, which is kind of a popular trend out west, where we don't just have like, hey, a nurse and multiple CNAs and a med tech and an activities person and kitchen people and housekeeping, that everybody, regardless of what their credentials are, is going to pitch in wherever, because we just wanted the residents to feel like everyone is there to support. So we don't draw the line at, hey, I'm a nurse and you need a cup of tea or a refill in your coffee. Like, I'm going to grab that for you. Or just because, I'm a med tech and I'm passing meds and, someone has an accident and needs their laundry washed right away, I'm going to stop what I'm doing and go run that laundry. So it's actually worked out to be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It just took a while to kind of get our bearings, because I think a lot of people in the healthcare industry like their space. They like their lane. They like to know what their list of things are.
Right.
And now you're asking, people to jump in and, help clean up the tables after lunch or help serve lunch.
Yeah, like a cross-training type thing.
It is, but I think it really makes the residents feel comfortable, because you're kind of your family. So you're blending and blurring the lines.
Yeah.
In a sense, and to them it doesn't feel
share
like
responsibilities in the house.
Exactly.
So, right.
Exactly. So anyway, thank you for asking. And we've been full since January, and the demand is there. I think it's going to just continue. As soon as an opening happens, we pull someone off our waiting list. It just kind of keeps rolling.
Yeah.
All right.
So I could probably build 2 more units and fill them with the amount of demand right now for memory care, and not just private. I'm saying also for like the Medicaid option as well. I think it's a very unaffordable, expensive level of care, but the need is growing tremendously, and the age, unfortunately, is creeping younger and younger. So when you talk about someone who's in their 70s diagnosed with Alzheimer's and it's progressive, and they're kind of in more of a past the moderate and more of an extreme state of dementia and need that help, but they're physically healthy.
Yeah.
How long can their resources last them? It's certainly, and they could be alive till mid 90s. So you can't afford 20 plus years at a private pay rate. So the fact that we have Medicaid is a great option, but the demand that's out there, oh my gosh, I could fill 2 or 3 more units just for a lower income option for that support. So it's kind of scary. Yeah. It's kind of scary.
When my mom was at St. Antoine's at the end of her life, and my siblings and I, we still laugh. about it because she was in the memory care and she didn't know she was at St.
The old
Antoine's.
memory care units.
Yes.
Yeah.
She didn't know she was there, but the thing that the nurses and everybody else all working together, she thought she was on some cruise ship, and because whenever I ever showed up, she goes, "Do you want something to eat or drink? Just ask one of the ladies." Like they were a waitress, and they'll bring it to you. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, they're really doing something a little more important than to stop to bring me a pudding. You know?
All right, I'd like a scotch, please.
I think
So,
what's
but-
always interesting when I talk to folks that don't know a lot about long-term placement and even nursing home, obviously there's such a stigma attached to it. And so many families come in saying, you know, I promised my mom or I promised my dad I would never place them. And then all of a sudden an occurrence happens and you're in rehab, right? So this is, let's pretend you're 85 and your name is Tim and you fell and broke your hip, but you've been living alone for the last 10 years because your wife passed away.
Yeah.
And you come into rehab and the family, we talked to them a little bit about, you know, long-term options or maybe assisted living. You know, hey, Tim, your dad's been, you know, living alone for a while since his wife passed and, you know, thinking socialization might be really important. And the kids are like, I promised him I wouldn't place him. And then he's with us for like 2 weeks and he loves
it.
the attention.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
loves the socialization. He loves the staff. And we have to come back in and say, see how you're noticing dad's
Told
mood has
you.
perked up a
Yeah,
little
true.
bit?
Yeah.
See how you notice dad put on 5 pounds because dad's actually
He's
eating,
eating.
Yeah.
because he's socializing, he's walking around, he loves the therapist, although he's
Yeah.
flirting with them, it's still socializing, you know? And then it just grows and grows and grows. And I think that's our success story is that. It's like because we have these options to offer you and
Yeah.
also because you're dipping your toe into something the family doesn't think that you need, but you're demonstrating that you really actually miss people.
Yeah. Well, it's
And
hard- I mean,
your
okay.
mom was probably like happy because it's not to say you were neglecting her needs, but having a lot of
you-
people around is very comforting.
Right. But you know, I mean, I think as children, you probably think that, you know, they don't, my parents don't want to leave their house. Now, in some cases, parents have clearly stated, I'm not going anywhere. You're not going to put me
100%.
anywhere.
They dig their heels in.
Right. They dig their heels in. But to your point, if you can get them on it's almost a demo.
Yeah, 100%.
Of their
This
their
is what it could be
experience.
like.
Yeah, hey, you know, you
yeah.
don't have to come here. We're not keeping you here, but you know, if you like it, you know, we might be able to make some arrangements.
Right. Well, you know what I'll do in my second spot, so we stop talking about this. I'll talk about respite care and how we can
Okay.
really do that dip your toe thing in and plan ahead and all the things. So
right.
there we go.
Alrighty, well, I am still reeling from last night's Red Sox victory.
Can't believe it.
Holy cannoli! I
What-
don't even ever watch
what-
baseball, and I watched it.
What a baseball
It
game!
was a game.
last night, and Tim, you know, Tim and I played together in Little League.
Yeah.
That
just means
know
Joe's
what's the
old.
worst? That's right. You know, I'm like, and okay, things were not happy when they were losing 1-0.
Yeah.
But it was worse when they went ahead for me.
Yeah.
I am more of a wreck now that we have the lead.
Right.
How do we hang on?
How do we hang on to the lead?
And I'm like,
That's exactly
oh my
what
God.
That's why we
So-
watched. Same
so-
thing.
Because the Yankees are coming up 3 more times.
Yeah.
Oh,
Waiting for the bottom to drop.
That's right.
That's what we do as
Oh,
fans
So
now.
so many text messages going last night with the family and my
Can we
friends.
do
I'm
it?
like,
Can we
like,
do it?
I
The
was
Sox
doing
gonna
that.
break my heart again. Oh, these guys stink. I can't stand this. This
See
is
what
awful.
the last 10 years have done to
Right.
us. It's
One Garrett Crochet bad pitch goes out of the park. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Here we go.
It's
This
all
is all-
over
it's
Do
now.
you not do
downhill.
the same thing when you watch the Patriots
I
too?
do.
Yes.
Oh my
And then
God.
you know what my family says to me? Why are you being so negative?
Because I enjoy
Stop
it.
being so negative. I'm like, because if they win, then I won't be disappointed. It'll be
Right?
great.
You're tabling your expectations.
Then, you know, after Volpe hits the home run, Crochet puts down 17 in a row.
Bro, that's right. It's amazing. That guy's unbelievable.
He was very
How he
good.
doesn't win the Cy Young is beyond me. I know
Someone else is going to win it, and I forget who's going to win it this year.
not Klobuchar, but
Yeah.
anyway,
But
yes.
you know, I was texting my brother last night too after the bullpen for the Yankees started coming in.
Yeah.
I said, "Is the bullpen for the Yankees always this bad?
Yeah.
These guys can't find the plate."
Right,
What is
and
going
as
on?
soon as you saw the crack in Fried's,
Yeah.
they were starting to hit him. They weren't getting hits,
Yeah.
but they were starting to hit him. It's like, okay, this
and
isn't going to be long.
Boone is taking a lot of criticism today
For taking him
in
out?
the New York media. Take him out too early.
I actually thought he
I'm
took
like-
him out a little early too.
But if it's it's always this way.
Right.
If he takes them out then, and they win,
Right.
everything's fine. But you're going to be criticized because you took him out
Right. I mean,
early, and now you
The
lost.
same thing with Cora.
Same with- yeah, that's right.
If he took Crochet out,
Yeah.
that the seventh inning, right, the end of the seventh inning, and didn't let him pitch into the eighth,
Yeah.
then everybody would have been all upset with him. But he came into the eighth and threw two. His last pitch was 102 miles an hour. His last pitch. 117 pitches later, he's 102 miles
You
an
know
hour.
what that's also a product of? Fall temperatures. Yep. Yep, I think it was perfect. Like
It definitely was a beautiful
baseball
night.
weather
It was definitely
last
perfect
night. I'm
baseball
just
weather.
Well, that was a great night for baseball.
invigorating, like crisp air.
Yep.
But then, the ninth
Worked in his
inning,
favor.
the ninth inning, Tim.
Oh, loads the bases.
We load the bases.
Oh
with
my
no
God.
outs, and
That's
the winning run is standing at second base. I'm like,
right. And
How
Aaron
do-
Judge
how do we
comes
get
up
out
to
of
the
this?
plate, and then Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton
Giancarlo
comes up, and I'm
Stanton.
thinking, "Oh my
he's
God,
gonna hit- he's gonna hit one
got
out.
You got 2 runners on, and he's up. This
Yeah.
is going to be
Nope.
all over."
this is not good.
And Chapman, man, that guy when he gets dialed in,
No, he's brutal.
the reason he loaded him up, I think, is because he sat so long on the bench.
That's right.
He was-
he resting and
right.
not pitching out
right.
the bullpen.
I think so, and he had to get back in the groove.
Now, if you're a true fan, and we just talked about
Yeah.
like tabling expectations, you're going into the second game thinking to yourself, "We're gonna blow it."
We're gonna blow it.
Well,
that
no.
was such an exciting game. and
Actually, I'm not-
we played so well, but
I-
next game we're gonna bomb it.
Since this format, and you might have said it yesterday, Joe. Since the format took place where you have this wild card game, every team that's won the first game has won the series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the Yankees now have to be thinking to themselves, all right, it's
Well,
one
the
game at a
pressure-
time,
the
fellas.
pressure's on them.
Right, it's one game at a time. Let's just win the next game, and then we'll win the last
we'll
one.
worry
We're
about
at the
game
last
three.
one.
Yeah.
But like you said, the pressure's on them right now. And
Absolutely.
the Red Sox, for some reason this year, seem to have their number. Knock on wood.
Well, we'll see what happens.
I know.
Bayo
Bayo
pitches tonight.
Yeah, and he can be erratic.
It could
but-
be. It could be fit. He could be great.
Yep.
Or he could be erratic, like
Right.
you said. So we'll. We don't know until the
Either
game
way,
starts.
I'm glad the Sox made it to the postseason. This
Yep.
has been fun.
Yeah.
It's been up and down, roller coaster ride for the entire season. But
I'm glad we're gonna have another umpire behind home plate. He was a little not too crazy about his calls.
Yeah.
On both sides last night. I was like, oh, that's a ball for us. And he goes, oh, strike. Oh, good for us. Yeah, good for us. Well, I didn't say it that way, but I'm not the one calling the plays. So,
Right.
So just all heart pounding game.
Oh, it was.
last
Oof.
night. Just watching it. And some people like those kind of games. It was a pitcher's duel.
It was.
And, instead of a high scoring thing. So that's what's crazy. And I'm watching the game, and I'm watching Fried pitch, and I'm watching that curveball.
Yeah.
Going, I was like, I don't know
how
how
high
you hit
it goes and then how
I'm
low
like,
it
oh
goes.
my God, he is on top of his game.
Yeah.
And he lost.
Yeah.
He took the loss, which is too. Did he take the loss?
Yeah, he did because
Okay.
he loaded up the 2 men on
All right.
base.
So.
Then boom, pulled him.
Oh no, Weaver took the loss because we scored on him. So Fried got no
Oh,
decision.
that's right, no decision.
No decision.
That's right.
So,
he wasn't going to win the game.
Yeah,
that was what it is.
so
He
it was
wasn't going to
just,
win it.
but he should have. That pitching performance, he should have won.
man.
I said, oh my gosh, that curveball is out of control. All right, so on to tonight. Let's do it one more time.
Now, are you going to watch it again, Melissa? Or are you going to?
I didn't really intentionally watch it. Let's be very honest. I
Let's be
was
honest.
cooking dinner.
You just happen to have it on ESPN?
I'm just done with the news, whatever. And so I used to watch the news and cook dinner. And anyways,
right.
had the baseball game on in the background. So my husband came home from work, picked up my daughter from volleyball, and was like, "You watching baseball?" And I was like,
Who are you?
I know.
And where is Melissa?
And of course, yeah, we just caught the last hour or so, but it was good enough to get sucked in. And
yeah?
yeah,
You do get sucked in.
you do.
And how quiet did Yankee Stadium get?
Oh, it was great.
I know.
It was great.
Silence.
But I don't know any players' names.
But it was-
I know.
For who,
I
the
haven't.
Sox?
Yeah, I haven't been following
yeah.
in a long time. It was very unusual for me to put it on. Again, my husband's reaction
Yeah.
was like shocked. But I'm not invested. It was fun to watch
Right.
because it was an exciting wrap up of the game. We'll see. I don't know if I'll
if
put it on tonight until maybe the last
Yeah.
2
All right,
innings.
turn it on at 8:30
Yeah,
or so.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
See
Yep.
what things
You
are.
know, it's the team's been it's been an interesting enigma all year long for this team because they didn't make any trade moves at the deadline, and everybody said you got to make trade moves, and they were like, nope. And so you blame the owners, he's too cheap, he didn't want to pay. Scott
rid of
Breslow,
Devers. Got rid of
no
Devers.
idea what he's doing. Got rid of Devers. That's the worst thing ever. You need his bat.
Turns
well,
out great.
actually, you don't need his bat,
Yeah.
and he was the problem
He
with
was
the
the
team.
problem.
And so you know what? You got rid of him. You gave him to a team who was doing good. And then
Didn't make the
tanked
playoffs.
after they gave him Devers. And so yeah, it's been a fun second half of the season. They didn't fall apart after the All-Star game.
Right.
They had they were streaky. They would have
Yeah.
these big 10-game winning streaks, and then they'd
then tail
lose
off.
4,
Yeah.
5, and then. But it's been fun. The fact that they got here, I think, is it's what everybody expected at the beginning of the year that they would make the playoffs. But after the first part of the season, I was like, "There's no way they're going to make the playoffs."
All right, one more note on that. Jaron Duran, someone has got to get to him and calm him down.
Yeah, he's a little hyped.
He looked scared.
Yeah.
Batting, and he was terrible at the plate.
Right.
I'm like, relax.
Yeah, maybe this.
I
Maybe
know
this
it's Yankee
will be,
Stadium, and I know it's the playoffs, but
Yeah.
you got to hit for us.
Maybe that win last night will help calm his nerves a little bit.
All
Like,
right,
okay, we can do it. We can do it.
Because the pressure's not on us; it's on them.
Right.
And how about one more? Breu and Rafaela almost colliding in the outfield.
Yeah. What was that?
I don't know which is which, but I saw that play.
Yeah, I'm like,
It's
that
the
was-
center fielder's call.
Yeah, that
the
was
center
bad.
fielder runs the outfield.
right.
They said, the national announcer said, well, it's loud and they can't hear each other.
Yeah.
Okay, how about
Doesn't matter.
look at each other?
Right. Well, they were both focused on that
The ball's
ball.
floating for a little bit. Yeah, you can
I
look.
can't believe they didn't crash into each other. I,
They-
thought exactly
I don't know how
that's
much
what was gonna
distance
happen.
was between the two of them. There was a different camera angle might have showed that, but
Yeah.
I think Rafaela was kind of looking like, who was that that
Who
just flew by me?
Who just flew by me and caught the ball. So I was like, but it was an out, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, it's all that matters. It's all
all
that
right,
matters.
Melissa, time for a second message. Let's hear about respite care.
Are we already at that?
Yes, we are at that point.
Wowzer.
From San Antonio Communities.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of continue our dialogue from a few minutes ago and just mention the fact that at every level of care, we offer something called respite. And so it's really an opportunity for someone to either try out a level of care and see if it works for them. It's also another definition of it is also for folks that might just be in transition. So it could be that someone's in rehab and just, they've graduated, they're off insurance coverage, but they just don't feel quite confident enough to go home on their own yet. So they might just come stay with us in the assisted living respite, just till they build up a little bit of confidence, a little bit of strength. We call it an extension of rehab, but it's a different option. 99% of the time, they end up loving it and wanting to stay permanently, but I'll leave that alone. And respite's also an opportunity for adult caregivers that want to go away on vacation, or they have somewhere else to be, or they have an emergency and they need someone to look out for mom, dad, a spouse, whoever, while they're gone, and just be ensured that they're in a safe space and their needs are being met. Those folks are usually the ones that maybe need help with med management or some bathing assistance, things like that, and we're there to support them and provide them that. But again, it's not just for assisted living. We also do that for memory care, and we also do that for skilled care and long-term options. So it's really designed to just be an option for anyone looking for that interim transitional spot, or to test it out, test the waters and see if it's for them. But again, more than half the time when they come in, they end up realizing it's a suitable option, or the family goes on vacation and they realize, it was kind of nice to take a break. Hey, can we extend it another week or two? And then before you know it, it's a permanent placement. So if you want more information on that, you can reach me. I'd be happy to tell you about it or give you a tour of the space that your loved one can stay in. You can reach me at 401-767-3500. Thank you.
All right, Melissa, thanks. Okay, one more thing about the game last night. How happy the game was over at 10 past 9.
No, it was
and
great.
not 10 past midnight.
Right,
So,
right.
I said,
It makes a difference.
I don't have to go to bed right now.
It
I can watch something else.
Because now my blood pressure can come down.
That's right. I got
Like,
time to,
amped up from the
I
game.
got time to relax. All right, more Coffee Hands coming up. We got a note to get to. We will when we come back.
OM 1240.
You will always find great homemade food at one of the best restaurants in the Blackstone Valley, Missy's Family Restaurant, 801 Clinton Street in Woonsocket. They're open for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week beginning at 6 a.m. and on Fridays they're open for dinner until 7 p.m. You can always get breakfast all day long at Missy's Family Restaurant. And don't forget about their award-winning Dynamites. Missy's Family Restaurant, 801 Clinton Street in Woonsocket.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores. And it's Coffee and on ONAM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Smith and Tim Draper. We have a note that was called in, 766-1240, and for Tim.
Ooh.
It's got nothing to do with baseball, okay?
Oh.
It looks like a Navigant Credit Union customer, okay? And you've talked about it for the last couple of weeks. You're probably going to talk about it again on your message, but let's bring it up now. And it's the switch from your debit cards, from Visa to MasterCard. And now the caller says, and it forces members to call their business payments because of the new card. If members ignore it or are not aware of it, this switch will cause big problems. What is the advantage of this new card? Do you understand the note here?
Yeah. Okay. So for some situations, that is a pain in the neck. We recognize that. That's you're gonna have to call some of the places where you have things tied to your debit card, payments tied to your debit card. You may have to call those businesses just to make sure that they have your new number, your new card. And in some cases, that's actually going to be a seamless process. And it's sort of a random hit or miss which businesses are going to do it. But we do recommend everybody that if you have things tied to your debit card, we want you to check and make sure that everything will run smoothly. Because what will happen is eventually somebody will send you a notification that says, hey, you missed a payment. And then you'll have to call that company. You'll find out that it's your debit card. And they'll just have to make sure that information is updated. The advantage to the MasterCard is right now when you call our contact center with Visa, you're getting a contact center that is not very responsive if you have potential fraud on your card or you have questions about your card. We're finding that the MasterCard contact center and back office areas and areas that provide neural networks and security and those types of things are actually tighter and stronger, and they're more customer focused. So when you make those calls to MasterCard, if you ever need to, on hours that we're not open, you'll find that they're a little more responsive and a little bit faster. I've actually had to call on my Visa card, my Visa debit card, because there was some fraud and it was compromised, and it was actually an unpleasant experience
with the Visa people?
with Visa.
Wow.
And it's not always that way, but in this particular situation, it was for whatever reason. Maybe they had staffing issues. You just don't know. It was. We had a few more of those calls than we really wanted to have. So when we had the decision to move to MasterCard, we felt like that was going to be better serving all of the membership from those, again, back office procedures, security procedures. Yes, it's a little painful here going through the process, and we understand that. We apologize, and we'll try to be as helpful to you as possible to do that. If you want to go into the branch and talk to one of the platform folks and ask them for a little bit of assistance, I'm sure that they'd be happy to help you try to navigate those waters. But in the end, when this is all said and done after the first of the year and everything's been switched over, I think ultimately members who have situations that they need to address will be pleased with the service that they receive.
Okay. Well, I hope that answers the question. All right. Moving on to other things going on. This happened down in Portsmouth, and it's kind of humorous for us because
we're not in Portsmouth.
It doesn't involve us. But when something like this happens, it's always kind of humorous. Portsmouth police arrested a woman on September 20th at 1 a.m, and she was pulled over for a traffic stop. All right. And, hey, why don't you take this breathalyzer? And she does, and they arrested her for DUI. Okay, that's not the funny part. The funny part later on, when her husband shows up to pick her up at the police station.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And he's arrested for DUI.
Right. He drove to the police station to get her drunk.
And he's also was arrested for resisting arrest.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is just too funny.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
A little comical.
I'm pretty sure they must have been out and about together
Yeah,
somewhere.
I bet they were.
I don't know.
She probably left and
Or they were having
Or I need to make one phone call. Calls
so
the
she
husband.
calls the husband, come and get me.
Fine, and he goes. He's hammered.
But he's hammered, and so
Oh,
they both were arrested.
That
for
is what
DUI.
we call bad juju right there.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Yep.
Bad choices.
Great.
Yep.
Bad
Oh, well.
choices is right. Okay.
And in a day and age with Uber, which we've talked about before.
Right. Although Tiverton's kind of a rural place. I don't know how much. Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there should be Ubers there.
So anyway, I don't know if this affects anyone over at Saint Antoine, Melissa, but we had the story yesterday that Peter Nerona came out with a statement saying it's the proposed Brown University Health, Brown Physicians Incorporated merger, basically, even though they're two separate things. And he's going to, it forces Brown University Health to add 40,000 new primary care patients by the year 2029.
By the way, the problem is a problem that his office created.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, now I fixed it.
Well, because they wanted to merge a while ago, and he
Okay.
was holding it all up for whatever reason. They didn't want it to be a monopoly. And then I guess what happened was he realized that they have a problem with primary care physicians. And he went, okay,
lack of.
I'm no longer going to block this.
Okay.
But here's the conditions for you to make this happen. A, you have to hire 40, what did it say, 40 new...
Well, they want 40,000 new
40,000.
new patients.
Right.
They do want to hire new doctors. Last, what I heard yesterday, like 27 by the year 2027,
Yep.
and then more as it goes on.
First-time patient appointments can't be more than 2 weeks out.
Well, that's gonna be tough.
Oh, that's like nearly impossible.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna pull that off. So
As he
Brown Physicians Incorporated just becomes part of Brown Health.
Yeah. Mhm.
Starting today.
Yep.
We're all one big happy family
family.
now. So.
There'll be no issues with that.
So,
Sure.
Any thoughts on that, Melissa? Just, I don't know if it'll affect anybody over it.
Without talking for hours and hours and hours, I'll simply say, we need to change something because there is obviously such a lack of physicians available especially for senior care. But even as a mom and a teenager that's now months away from needing to leave her pediatrician and I can't find her a primary care.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, I think it just speaks volumes. But I will share on a personal note in terms of I work with a couple of geriatric physicians in the area and provide them some support when they have students that are working with them and bringing them by to St. Antoine and educating them on every level of senior services, because I used to work in the community too. So these doctors are used to me giving me the whole spiel of supports in the community for seniors, but then also like how to go through the long-term care planning process as well. So I always talk to them after and say, like, you going to stay? Are you going to stay in Rhode Island? I know you're a student in Providence.
Please.
We really need you. You're wonderful. You're great. Some of them I'm like, I don't really want you here. But for the most part, most of the students are wonderful. And they're like, no, I'm pursuing an opportunity out in the West Coast, or I'm going to head home or whatever. But there's nothing attractive or nothing attracting them to want to stay or attractive them to stay here in Rhode Island. And I know it's, so Dr. Garash is someone who I meet with regularly and his students. A lot of people know who that is. He's just a wonderful physician, but he's aging himself and he's looking to kind of pass the torch and struggling with finding that person. And he himself has said, these students come through and I love them and I bond with them, but they have plans to leave. There's nothing baiting them to stay committed to the state.
Yeah.
And we really need them here because it's very commonplace. I'm sure you all know folks that, are snowbirds and they go to Florida and then they eventually move down there and then they want to come back as they're getting older because their kids are here, right? Or they're up in New England. And so then they want to come back, but we can't find them a physician. Fortunately, in St. Antoine residence, the long-term care side, we have on-site physicians. So it doesn't matter if you have a physician or not. You move here, we'll help you out. But trying to find someone for the assisted living, because it's not commonplace to have a house doctor for assisted living, is challenging. And you need them to have one to move in.
So is again, and we've talked about this, but is the biggest reason that those kids don't want to stay more about, I want to go back to where I came from, or I want to set up shop on the West Coast? Or is it, hey, you guys don't pay anything here, and so therefore, why would I stick around here?
The latter, Tim.
I think it's the pay, and I think it's the housing piece.
Right.
Like, I think I even think about, we had a CNA working for us in assisted living, and actually her whole family's up here. She met a boy, whatever, he's out in Oklahoma. She got her nursing license, and now it's time for her to find a job. So she was kind of shopping herself around. She's wonderful, energetic, bright young girl. We were like, stay in assisted living, come work for us, She's like, no, I want to pursue bigger things. She was offered an opportunity to go to Oklahoma, $25,000 bonus. Some
signing bonus, okay.
Moving fee was going to be covered, like $8,000 for that, and then she was going to be making like $50-something an hour. Well, what the heck can Rhode Island offer that can compare to that? You're offering most new nursing students coming out of the gate like $28 to $30 an clear.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You can't match that, and then the housing's expensive here, et cetera, et cetera.
And that's another twist to this. So the Attorney General said you need to hire 27 or 30 new physicians.
Yeah.
Like,
from where?
How?
Yeah.
How are you going to do that?
I'm curious.
You're going to have to pay them way above going rate in another state just to get them to come to this state.
100%.
And this,
I keep saying to
I look at it
myself
and go, that's the reason Hasbro left. Is
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
Rhode Island has nothing.
Yeah.
someone needs to be forward planning right now, and I think the end game is literally, and is probably an unfavorable reaction and impossible to even think of how this could happen, but it's time for Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut to merge.
Yeah.
It'd be one state.
And be one state, because it just feels like, and I think of that often in like smaller scale town politics. There's like towns like mine, North
Yeah.
Smithfield, very small, and we're always fighting the battle of like, how are we going to afford new roads?
How
are
much
we gonna
money
afford
can
the-
you extract from the people that live in your town? And they're
Why
not
are
that many
we
people.
not considering merging with Cumberland or merging with
Because
Smithfield, even for that
has
matter? And
everybody has a fiefdom.
That's-
Everybody
it's
has the
so-
control that they want, and they don't want to give any
I
of
just
that
need
up.
people to start forward planning. That's all. I'm
Because
tired
it's
of
not
looking
about
at what's in
it's
front
not
of
about
us.
the common good. It's about my good.
100%.
All right, we're going to take a break on the Coffee and program. More coming your way. Time for the forecast, being brought to you by Compassion International.
A sunny day today with a high near 63 degrees and a breeze from the northeast. Tonight, clear skies, overnight low of 40, north wind. Thursday's weather, sunshine and a high of 63. Friday, sunny and 70. Saturday, sunny skies and 78. Sunday, sunny skies and 81. Monday, sunshine and 81 again. And Tuesday, mostly sunny skies with a high near 80.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with the sunny skies, we have 51 degrees. Thousands of kids in poverty have waited over a year for a sponsor. End their wait today. Become a Compassion sponsor. Text radio to 83393.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
This Halloween, thrills take over. Six Flags New England bring the whole family for Kids Boo Fest. Fun and games. But when night falls, haunted mazes and monsters awaken. Experience the fright, if you dare. Only at Fright Fest. Sponsored by Snickers. September 20th to November 2nd at Six Flags New England.
Local and live at 99.5 FM.
It's Coffee and here on ON. Thanks for joining us. It's Joe Callahan along with Melissa Smith and Tim Draper. And Tim, it's time for our first message from Navigant Credit Union.
Thank you, Joe. We talked about this last week. Wanted to inform everybody out there that on November 5th at 10 a.m., we're going to be doing another one of our very successful senior safeguard programs, this time in the town of Cumberland at the new lodge at Diamond Hill. So if you're interested in seeing that, number one, you could certainly sign up to go to the senior fraud awareness seminar. And honestly, I say senior, that's very misleading because
Just
nowadays it's really just fraud because it happens across the board to everybody, all ages. But if you're interested in learning about what some of the scams that are happening now out there, and that way you can educate yourself and be a little more proactive, should you find yourself in a position of, somebody trying to put you in the middle of one of those scams, you can call Amanda LaRose, who often fills in for me here on this show. Her number is, I'm going to say it slow, so if you get a pencil and pen, 233-3108. Again, 233-3108, and Joe has that number here at the station if you need it. And you can reserve your spot for November 5th at 10 a.m. at the Lodge at Diamond Hill. So we hope you'll join us and learn a little bit more about what the ongoing problems are with fraud and how you can protect yourself.
All right, Tim, thanks. All right, back to the Brown University Health. And I saw the story yesterday when the statement came out, and then I saw someone also post something. Okay, but how about how do we get United Healthcare and Medicare to do something for the seniors? Because that's not mentioned at all in this. I'm like, well, there's a good question.
Yeah, that's above my pay grade.
I don't know. I don't know how we fix that, Melissa.
I have no thoughts. No comment.
None of that.
No
Right.
comment.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know. Everything's a mess in healthcare.
All right.
It's
My muttering, I won't mutter that. I'll just say everything is a mess in healthcare,
right.
Okay.
especially
Across
for
the board.
seniors.
I mentioned this to Melissa Murray yesterday. When things like this pop up, I'm thinking, So glad I live in Massachusetts sometimes. not that it's perfect over there, but I'm like, we just don't seem to have these issues.
Well, yeah, you guys have your own, but they don't
we
seem to
do.
be as dramatic as ours.
All right, moving on.
Of course,
to other
everything's
things.
dramatic, right? No matter where you are, and whatever town you're in, that's the worst
That's the worst
government. That's
thing
the
ever.
worst town.
Yeah.
That's because we're negative. Our generation is just negative.
Well,
but it's true.
That's why I'm worried about the Red Sox.
we're
all the time.
jaded. We're just so beaten down.
Right.
Well, speaking of negative,
Oh, geez.
government shutdown has started.
And there we
yeah, I
go.
know.
Yeah.
Does this,
There we go.
Does this affect you guys in any way?
You know, I was wondering that this morning because some of the services that we have to go through when we open accounts, you know, we check all kinds of databases and stuff to make sure people aren't trying to pull fast ones over on us.
They are who they say they are.
Right. I wonder if any of those are affected. Most of them are automated, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
But somebody has to update the automation. So,
That's a good point.
You know, you wonder what, if anything, will affect us. I don't think so, but who knows? I mean, there'll be government checks that are coming into members' accounts. So members' accounts are going to start to, you know,
That's a good point. I actually never even thought about even the fact, because obviously we bill out 80% of our population through Medicaid. Those are all federal offices.
Yeah.
So
But if they're automated services,
Should be okay.
maybe it won't be for. I mean, you can't stay on that path forever. It's going to take a little bit of time, I would think.
yeah, I don't know.
But the longest shutdown they said was 34 days. Most of them are a few days.
Yeah.
But the problem is if people aren't getting paychecks, which is what's happening, they still have to work in some cases, but they're not getting paid for it. They eventually get paid once they figure the whole government shutdown thing down. I think they get retroactive checks back to when it started. So eventually they get paid. But if people are living paycheck to paycheck and they don't get that paycheck and they still have mortgages to pay and car loans to pay and things like that, and they start churning through savings, you know, now places like us and other financial institutions have to start thinking about how we're going to be able to help these folks through this, what is ultimately going to be a short-term, we hope, short-term issue. So again, I think
What's the longest shutdown that's
34,
ever?
34 days.
34
Yeah,
days.
That's
A
it.
month.
It was a month.
And does
that was
it really cause the so like this is what I'm fascinated by, and I don't know enough about it because I'm not personally impacted, but those folks that, you know, their pay is frozen, but then there's a retroactive piece.
Yeah.
So what are you really accomplishing by shutting down, right? Other than the shock factor. So
Yeah.
then you're saying like, well, does this make any sense? Like if you're
I
on
think
medical
shutting
leave
down
or
is
something,
entirely political. I think it's entirely
100%.
political.
It's just it's a gimmick. It's a
right. It's who can we blame? Which side is going to get the most blame for shutting everything down?
But it's not
Pointing
like
fingers
they're
the other
They're
way.
going to keep pointing fingers.
It's not like it's let's use like a for-profit company that's
Right.
saying, hey, we're approaching a deficit this year and we're going to freeze pay for
Right.
1 week for all senior leadership to make up some of our deficit.
Yep.
It's not like that. It's not like the freeze benefits like the government budget.
Right.
To say,
It doesn't
okay,
save you money.
It's not saving them money off their bottom line or whatever it is because
Yeah.
you're paying it back. So
Is it-
it's
Is it not like when a union goes on strike and the company says, well, we're not going to pay you because you're on strike? Now, in a lot of cases, my guess is that the union negotiates that when workers go back to work when the strike is over, part of that settlement has to be that they get made whole, but maybe not. Maybe the
Yeah, I
company
don't
just
know.
says, we just saved ourselves 3 weeks worth of money.
And that's why
3
we
weeks
did
worth of
it.
payroll. So it's okay.
And now we can give you the 2% raise that you wanted.
Right. And all that is
Saved it
the
from
stuff
not
we just
paying you.
saved. Right.
I don't. Yeah. So if there's someone listening who can kind of guide us on this,
I'm
but
sure there
it's,
is.
It's all of that. I just feel like it's just it's the shock factor, and I think if anything, you're making the people who are working the hardest now. It's an inconvenience. You have to reach out.
It's an unnecessary anxiety in a day and
Yeah.
age where mental health is an absolute issue.
They were advising on the news that if you are someone who's impacted by the government shutdown, to reach out to all your utility providers,
Yep.
your landlords, your mortgage
Call us.
lenders.
Call us
let
at the
them
credit
know,
union,
and there
100%.
should
Is
be
an issue.
extended grace that
Yeah.
they should allow
Yep.
you.
Well, I hope so.
Bill forgiveness for that period,
that'd be
and
good.
yeah, but 34 days.
Yeah.
That was the last one. All right. We have our second person in Rhode Island that has declared that they want to be the next Attorney General in the state of Rhode Island. This is the former policy chief for the outgoing Attorney General, Peter Nerona. His name is Keith Hoffman, and he announced his candidacy yesterday. And he just says he wants to just keep doing basically what Peter's doing and just keep fighting Donald Trump. And that's all he wants to do. North Kingstown State Rep Robert Craven, Another Democrat, also previously announced that he's running for the nomination. And there's a third person, Jason Knight. He's going to announce on Monday, October 6th, another Democrat. He's from Barrington, I think.
Yeah.
That wants to be the AG. No word from the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because that office is termed out, so you have to. And it's not a job where there's a lot of name recognition to it, is my guess. So
Yeah.
people are going to be like, okay, well, I got to get my name out there now, so let's start campaigning now.
Yeah. Well,
And this is all happening in 2026. This is a year away.
Yep.
Well, you got to start now.
I know. Raising money. Here we go.
Okay.
From people who have no money.
Yep. And President Trump says his administration is close to an agreement with Harvard University. He says that Harvard's going to pay around $500 million to settle allegations of anti-Semitism on campus and discrimination through DEI programs. He says Harvard will invest the money to operate trade schools and that the final details are still being negotiated by U.S. Education Secretary Linda McMahon.
I often wondered what happened with big money settlements like that. What do they do with that money? And I like the idea of investing in trade schools, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna set up educational opportunities for
plumbers
kids
and
who
electricians.
aren't going to college,
Yeah.
because it's been my belief all along that not every kid should go to college, nor should every kid be forced into that choice. Let them listen. The trades are a fabulous way for kids to make money. There's not enough of them, which is why you can make so much money.
Yeah.
It's because if you're good at it.
And I know,
And you can take an appointment and keep it, which is generally a big problem for all my friends in the
I don't
trades.
know. Do you know anyone that's a guidance counselor in a high school?
Yeah, Julie Butler, I think.
Okay.
Cumberland.
Do you find that they constantly push you got to go to college? You got to go to college. You got to go to college.
I think
I don't know.
I think there's less of that now.
Yeah.
Has that stopped? Has that?
I think
Yeah.
there's
pulled
less of
back?
that now. Right. And there's
Well,
less
it
of
should
that
be.
now.
Because if you say no, I want to go.
Right.
My
And the
dad's
other
a
way,
plumber. I want to go into the business with him. Well, then you
Right.
should. Then
you
that's
should be an
what
apprentice,
do.
and you should go. And again, there's still a level of education that you need in the trades, right? It's not like
yeah.
you can just walk into there and get hired by a contractor and just
Do
I mean,
it.
you can do on the job. It just takes you a whole lot longer to
Yeah.
get the necessary skills you need. But if you went to a Davies or one of the career technical centers around here, or New England Tech or any of those type schools, you're going to get the education that you need in order to enter some of these trades, and then you'll be better positioned. Because what happens is you've got, they will teach you the trade, but they'll also probably throw in some business courses along the way too, like how to
yeah.
run a business and
Yeah.
how to manage your finances, because
How to balance
there's
the
a
budget.
lot of wonderful tradespeople, very talented craftsmen out there
But
who are
business-wise?
not great business people.
Yeah.
And their bookkeeping is lax, and
They can
just,
your plumber can fix the pipes.
Right,
But
but
how do I write a check?
how do you exactly? So you end up have to hire services, and then you have to trust people that they're going to do the right thing. So the more you have at least a little bit of knowledge in business as a tradesperson, that's going to help you in the long run in a lot of ways. Either when you open your own business, or even working for somebody and helping them be successful. Because if they're successful, you're successful.
One of the last times I had a plumber come out to the house, I forgot what was going on with the pipes at the time. They had an apprentice with him, and he was basically in the trades. What I needed to have done was rather simple.
Yeah.
Not that I could do it, but
Right.
they could do it. And he goes, "I'm going to watch him do it." I'm
Yeah.
like, well, this is terrific.
Yeah.
that there's someone younger
Right.
coming up and will know how to do this when I have a problem down the road.
Right.
Right.
So I'm like, this is great.
It's interesting. Hopefully, I'm okay to say this on the air. Hopefully, Kevin doesn't get mad at me. But I'm in a chamber group that meets every couple weeks, and so Kevin Sheehan from Sheehan Printing
yeah,
here
okay.
local by
Graduated high
great
school with
guy.
Kevin.
Yeah, did you
Yes,
really?
Yes, we did. Played hockey together.
Oh,
I've known
he's
Kevin for
a
long
great
time.
guy.
Kevin and Dave. Yep.
Yeah.
So we've and I do a lot of work with him as well. He does a lot of our printing for us. But at every meeting that we've had lately, he just keeps talking about this. He's like, I have a position open. It's been
Oh, in the printing
looming,
business.
yeah. And he's like, and there's no one
There's
with
no
the
one.
skill set, and I can't find. It's a critical position to my business, and I cannot
Can't just
find
hire
anyone
anybody.
just to
Yeah.
apply. And I keep thinking to myself, and I think at one of the meetings might have even said it, but it's like, it seems like those are the opportunities maybe to think outside of the box from his perspective of reaching out to a guidance counselor or somebody in a school system and say, do you happen to know of a student that may not be going that traditional path, or even if they're at Davies and they are in a technical program, that might be of the mindset that could be trained into something like this, to run a machine like this, because I'm willing to pay them well. Like he can't find any applicants. No one's applying because and him times however many other specialty industries that are out there now. I know my well guy, for example, he's old and he's like, I can't get anyone to take over. Like I can't find an apprentice. No one wants to work in the well industry, but it's a important industry and it's a skill set. And we pay a lot of money to have him come fix our well. There's good money to be made. And I'm thinking maybe I need to change my career. And, and I think that's what happens for a lot of people that are feeling like they're underpaid in their job, and to get ahead in this economy, maybe I need to go. I don't know if I shared this, but my nephew is graduating from Villanova this year and in engineering. I can't even tell you how much money he's being offered for his industry.
Right.
To me, it makes me cringe. I'm like, he's 21. I love him. He's very smart and he's very gifted and he's going to do amazing things. Close to six figures as a 20-year-old kid in an industry that I get it. But when you work with people who are doing knee-deep, gritty work every day, making anywhere from $15 to $30 an hour, to do jobs that people would never want to do, takes you're just sitting there and these are people like 40, 50 years into their career, like retiring, and they've never come close to making that. It just seems like everything's out of whack. You know what I mean? And it's not against him and the path that he's choosing. It takes a special mind and skill set, all the things, but the trades are in every job's important, but I think we need to reestablish what jobs deserve the pay that they're getting.
True.
And we talked about Amazon drivers, we talked about, burger flippers, whatever. And everything is just so competitive to get workers because everyone needs help that you're paying crazy money, and it's causing people with college degrees to say, I'm going to let my job go and I'm going to go over here and make more money. It's crazy.
I want to be an influencer.
All right, we got to take
You'd be very good. You'd be very good.
It's time for a second message, Tim, from Navigant Credit Union, and we'll take a break.
Here's your new influencer, Tim Draper.
I'm just going to capitalize on that message we had a little bit earlier and just remind folks that, we are changing our debit cards over from Visa to MasterCard, and there are some great reasons why we've chosen to do that. I explained those a little bit earlier, but this is just a reminder that you're going to start to get communications from us. Don't necessarily throw them out. If you're, as we say in the trades, if you're concerned of fraud and you're not sure if this is actually coming from us, probably is, but give us a call and we'll certainly at 233-4700. And we can confirm any communications or correspondence that you're getting. But essentially what's going to happen is you will receive a new debit card. If you have one of our current debit cards, you'll receive a new one that'll have MasterCard at the bottom of it. And again, behind the scenes, there's a lot of great features in terms of back office processes and procedures, but certainly some technology upgrades for you in accessing your account online. And if you have any questions or problems on our off hours, when our contact center may not be available live for you, the MasterCard contact center is actually really good. So we're hoping that this transition is smooth for you, but we are here to help. If you're having any issues, please don't hesitate to call. We'll work with you and help you get through it. So,
all right, there, Tim. Thank you very much. And more of Coffee and coming up. Stay tuned.
ON 1240.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu, the daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
This sandwich, it's a complete game changer. Hello, this is Mike, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club is that juicy chicken with that toasty pretzel bun. That bun, it's crispy, cozy, just amazing. With the pretzel bun, the Dijon mustard, and the chicken, it makes that sweet, savory kind of combination. It's everything that you love about food rolled into one. It looks phenomenal. It tastes great. It's delicious.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
ON Radio.
Coffee and on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us, Joe Callahan, along with Melissa Smith and Tim Draper. Are we all excited about Bad Bunny at the halftime show for the Super Bowl?
I don't even know a single song.
Ask your kids. They're going to know them.
I know.
Other than that.
And I guess that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to attract the young.
Well, that's it.
I don't know.
I was trying to explain it to somebody else. I go, the NFL only cares about 18 to 25-year-olds, and that is it.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say that entirely, because over the years, if you look at some of the performers over the years, there's been some
they've been going younger,
attracted to the older audiences.
Yes, but I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to guarantee their next generation of viewers.
Probably.
Maybe that's it.
So that's why they're.
Well, I think they had success with Kendrick Lamar, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I know the youngins are big fans of his, and maybe they saw that and said, let's capitalize on that after last year.
I will tell you, Bad Bunny was on Saturday Night Live one night on an episode. He was actually really funny.
Was he funny?
I'm like, that guy's pretty funny.
Well,
I don't know if I know his music.
I think there's controversy over him, right? Though there's this whole
because
it goes political, of course,
not
but
androgynous. But what are they? He's ambiguous. I don't know. He's
androgynous, is right?
Yeah. So I think that part of that is the whole DEI woke, that whole is going to show up and rear its ugly head, I'm sure. But who knows? I think he's an entertaining cat. Is what I think. And when I saw him Saturday Live, I thought from a comedic standpoint, he had pretty good timing.
Yeah, and something about
he's got a weird name.
He just did like 15 shows or something like that in Puerto Rico, but I'm trying to remember what the reasoning was.
He's a Latin artist, right?
Well, he's Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
It's a Latin.
And he said he didn't tour in the United States because he's worried about his fans being rounded up by ICE at his concerts. So that's why he didn't.
That might have been why he performed in Puerto Rico.
That's right.
That's what it was. Okay. Yeah.
All right. An American Airlines flight out in L.A. LAX was heading to Boston, had to slam on the brakes when a cargo plane crossed in front of its path on the runway. Don't the pilots look at each other? It's like driving a car. You look left and right.
I will tell you, there's a lot of stuff going on in the cockpit. You rely a lot on your control tower.
Oh, I'm sure
if the control tower or the ground control is not
and that's a long flight.
Attention.
You're taking a little nap if you're a pilot. It's on auto control. You're just...
So there were 94 passengers and a crew of 7 rolling down the runway Sunday morning when the takeoff had to be aborted. No injuries, so that's good. The flight later departed for Boston, but it probably took off like 3 hours later. That kind of thing, and when you're flying, aren't you always happy when your plane starts taking off down the runway? We're going to take off, and you don't want it to stop or turn around. We got to go back.
Happy.
Oh gosh, that's a killer.
Much more happy when I'm in control.
All right.
I just feel like more. I don't know if it's just because it's the social media sharing situation, but it does feel like there's more and more close calls that you're hearing about.
I actually think there are.
I mean,
I think air traffic. We're back to pre-pandemic volume, right? And that's actually greater now. But the one thing that I will give Trump some credit for is that his push for the FAA to modernize the air traffic control system around the country is really, really important. GPS tracking for airplanes, where they are on the ground, where they are in the air, all that stuff can take place, and we can get rid of some of these old legacy air traffic control systems. And take some of the burden off of the controllers because it's still very manual, looking at where planes are on a radar, looking at their call letters and their altitudes and their directions and where they're going. And, then having to manage all of that, you've got 25 planes that you're doing. And, the number of air traffic controllers is shrinking. It's a very difficult job. So
a lot of stress.
And so, you want to make sure you want to automate as much as you can these processes because the automation doesn't ever get tired, and it's always going to be looking for planes crossing the path on runways and taxiways. And through AI, they'll be able to actually predict where planes will be at certain points in time, so they can avoid. Collision avoidance is always really important. So, I think that the more we force the airlines into upgrading their equipment, which they're all doing it now. So I think in the next probably 5 to 10 years, that will decrease the number of near misses and near collisions and all that other stuff.
Do you think the drag on that though, flipping over and allowing AI to be involved, has anything to do with like vulnerabilities?
AI is here to stay, and it is everywhere.
No, but I mean more from the standpoint of like vulnerabilities to terrorist activity.
No, because I always think that, that's the thing people say, well, AI is going to take over the world. Well, people still have to program AI. People still have to intervene somehow, some way. No, I think
it's growing and it's outsmarting us, and it's
right. But I think you're still going to need people to determine when it's outsmarting us so that they can not have it outsmart us. But
Okay, I hope not to be here when that
yeah,
happens.
me too.
But it's moving very quickly.
It
so
is
I
moving
feel like
quickly. It's moving rapidly, and I think, but I do think that in areas like that where safety is concerned and safety relies on human intervention. I mean, humans are humans. Make mistakes. They get tired. They get emotional. They get distracted. Computers don't.
Watch Logan's Run.
Yeah.
And we'll see how AI takes over.
Yeah.
But speaking of the airlines,
yeah,
Delta Airlines, because they have nothing better to do, have decided Delta Airlines and shapewear brand Spanx are joining forces. They want to design a collection of travel wear.
Excellent.
Delta's chief market officer
Suck in my gut
says
so
the
I can
joint
fit in a chair better.
The joint partnership will create clothes designed for travelers who love to explore the world in style. Delta is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year, and the debut of the clothing line comes as the company tries to market itself as a lifestyle brand, not just an airline. Spanx is 25 years old now, and the collection is on sale now online on the online Delta shop. So if you go to Delta Airlines, you can go shopping. Yes.
First of all, Spanx brand is known for shapewear.
Okay.
And it's not all that comfortable. I mean, if I'm going to a wedding or an evening, I might throw on a pair of Spanx under an evening gown. Absolutely. But it is a one and done. It is not meant for like a 12-hour flight comfort. You're going to cut off circulation.
Squeeze your brain.
What I'm going to add to that is it's almost like you're a little behind the ball on this, because if you walk into any women's clothing store right now, for example, I was just up at Rentham with my sister grabbing a few things 2 weeks ago. Every store, like Ann Taylor, Loft, all of these like modern day women workwear stores have gravitated to elastic waist, pull on everything. Everything is drawstring, everything comfy. Intentionally, so that you can transition from the workday into the airport, into a club, into everything is versatile. And that started with COVID.
Okay.
And it's not going away. So I don't know what they're going to design that makes it extra extra different than what's already out there.
Travel wear, so that could be anything.
Right. My daughter refers to the difference between the travel wear and not just Dad, are you wearing hard pants on the plane or are you wearing soft pants on the plane?
I don't know, what does she mean?
So hard pants are jeans. Soft pants are like exercise pants, sweatpants.
I wouldn't even say that.
She calls she and her friends call them hard pants and soft pants.
It's funny. I was watching the Patriots game on Sunday, and I noticed that and I forgot what they're called, but they're basically like, it's a new form of pants that women have been wearing for about a year now, and I'm noticing it creep over into men's line as well.
Like tracksuits?
They're kind of like track pants, but they look nicer.
But they're the ones with the elastic
and even,
at the ankles?
even the Ryder Cup this week, they were wearing the same kind of pant.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, this is just disguise. It looks like they're wearing a dress pair of pants from
But
afar.
they're not.
Yeah.
You get up close, and that's essentially a track pair of pants with nice material. Are you wearing them?
These look like jeans almost, but they're not.
Tim is wearing.
Let's just say my teenager thinks jeans are uncomfortable, khaki and black pants are uncomfortable. Everything needs to be joggers or leggings. That's the future of fashion
is
right
this
there. Comfort.
Immediate satisfaction. Jeans can be comfortable, but you got to wear them for a while, and you got to wash them to soften them up.
Yeah, you do.
And kids
I'm
don't
glad
go
you're saying
through that.
wash them. I feel like a lot of men,
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to college in this, a lot of boys used to not wash their jeans, so they would be the ultimate soft. That's gross.
Really?
Make sure you wash your jeans.
Yeah, okay.
Wash them often, they'll still get soft.
I will say that for a while I was involved
You're
with...
laughing because you were one of them.
Statements. No, I was not.
I did Stitch Fix for a little while.
Oh, yeah. Good for you.
Until they started sending me the same stuff over and over again. But they sent me a couple of pairs of pants. Like this one. But they are so soft and so comfortable.
A little
to
stretch,
sit
a little
in.
give?
Little stretch, a little give. And in my case, a lot of stretch, a lot of give. So but it's those fashion brands, I think, that are bringing because I still would go to Target or to Kohl's and go buy a pair of jeans. And in most cases, like Joe said, you got to wash them 10 times before they're soft.
Thank you for washing them.
But you can find
Pre-washed
pre-washed
jeans,
or some softer jeans that you can throw on. I just like a good pair of jeans.
All right, it's the end of an era, folks. AOL is shutting down.
Oh, you've got mail.
No. It's shutting down its dial-up service.
Yeah,
I didn't know someone was still using
Yeah.
it. The company, originally known as America Online, announced the end of the era for a technology that once defined the early internet experience. And such an enjoyable sound. At its peak, AOL had 10 million customers.
Wow.
However, technology moves forward, and most users transition away to faster broadband connections, shrinking current usage down to under 165,000 households.
Wow.
Up from 10 million.
It's a dial-up modem. Remember the dial-up modems?
The company's decision will also discontinue the AOL Dialer software and AOL Shield browser, which were optimized for older systems and dial-up connections.
I remember you used to have the box next to your computer.
Yep.
You would take your hand from the handset from your phone and
put
it in the box.
Yep.
So they could, and they'd hear the thing call it up, and then you'd be able to do your you got mail.
If you were on, in my situation at some point, where if you're online, but someone called the house, knocked offline.
Knocked off.
Right.
The phone call went right through immediately, and you would, no matter what you were doing, you were done.
So save off.
It is sad. It brings you back. It's nostalgic. The sound of that, though.
Yeah.
It's,
because nothing else. Nothing
End
else
of an
makes that
era.
sound except that. So the dial-up service is done at AOL. All right, that'll do it for the show for today. Thank you very much for listening in. Melissa Smith, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and Tim Draper, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Joe, and everybody. It's the first day of October. Go enjoy the God-given day.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Do you remember Cruise coming up after the 9 o'clock news here on ON Radio?
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.